Welcome to Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Trevor Brew and Tommy Morris with you, presented in partnership with The Lead Sports. Going to be doing some predictions, some betting, some odds makers every Thursday. If they let us back, we got to see how well we do. You know, this is a results-oriented business, Tommy. We saw last week with the Ravens and Mark Trestman. You know, you don't put up the results, you don't get asked back.
Nope. Yeah, you go ahead and pack your bags and move to a different city.
So we'll see how long we last. We'll see how long this partnership lasts. Go check out The Lead Sports, their newsletter, the quickie, every morning in your inbox, the latest in sports. I read it, Tommy. Do you read it? I don't know if you read it yet.
I do. I'm very into quickies in the morning. You just got to get what you need really early. While
and just get out of there.
Up and ready. I'm always wake up. When I wake up, that's when I'm at my most ready, I guess.
Your most fertile self.
Yeah, exactly. So that's when you need to get that done.
We'll also see how long this partnership lasts because, the last time we had a partnership back in 2010 with Bolt Barbers, we went a little off the cuff. I think we tried to coin our own tagline for them, talking about they shear like there's no tomorrow, yet that was not part of how they're branded.
Yeah, that was a really bad way to brand that company. That was a really cool company. We kind of degraded it into looking like some kind of
and that was 2010.
Like an army haircut.
It took us 6 years to get another partnership. I kind of feel like we're like the Ray Rice of sports talk.
Right. Well, I mean, we weren't suspended and we didn't beat up anyone. So
yeah, but we've been pretty much blackballed from partnership. So we'll see how long this thing lasts. I actually went undefeated in my picks last week. We're gonna take a look at the scoreboard right now. So
I just find it funny that we do that. This is the first week that we do the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, come on, it's for the lead.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to make fun of you. Tommy is actually sitting in the middle right now as the nurse, we like to call him. The Lead Sports, our good friend Tim Livingston, he's not doing so well, Tim. Let's keep up the pace. It's not a good look, Down to see, this is how you lose a partnership. But
maybe you should rename it to not from the lead to the trail.
The trail?
Trail Sports, yeah, maybe, yeah. Normally when you lead, you're in front. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, they're pulling up the bottom right now. I'm up top, probably now that we got a new platform to talk about these picks, I'm probably going to go 0 for 5 this week, so I'm just setting myself up for failure. But the way we do it is we pick 5 games every week. They're pick'em games, and we have criteria for them. There's 5 criteria. 1 is the Monday Night Football game. 1 is a survivor pool pick'em. The 3rd is an away team. The 4th is a user choice. And the 5 is an underdog pick. So that's going to be the criteria we use to pick games every week. But if you're picking on the spread, I think we'll be able to help you out because we love picking underdogs. And if we're picking underdogs, pick them, you can definitely apply that to the spread.
Yes. Correct. Yeah. So agreed on all fronts.
With that, Tommy, I think it's time we get into the picks.
Let's do it.
All right, so we're going to go through each one of these games, and then when a game comes up that either Tommy or I have selected for one of our 5 criteria, we will make note of that. First game of the week, San Francisco and Buffalo. Kaepernick is back in uniform. Rex Ryan still the coach there somehow.
They're 3-2.
Tommy, is this going to be one of your selections?
I'm not picking this game, but I will say this: if I was betting, if I was in Vegas, I would take the Niners. I think it'll be a lot closer game than 7.5. But I do not think the Niners will win, so they didn't really fit any of my criteria this week.
Tommy, this is my upset pick. I'm going with the Niners this week. It's not even because Kaepernick's actually partially Kaepernick coming back, just because of the fact that Gabbert couldn't hit an open guy by 15 yards. But more importantly, one of my criteria for betting is Rex Ryan's Bills have won 3 in a row. Anytime a team with Rex Ryan as coach has won 3 in a row, you immediately bet against them. It's the first thing you did.
I actually almost that's part of the reason why I like this game. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with a new quarterback. I kind of have a conspiracy theory that maybe they're going to sabotage Cap.
Okay, I could actually see things going that way, but with Rex Ryan, you got to bet against him. That's the number one rule. 3 wins in a row for a Rex Ryan team, they're not going to show up on Sunday. They're going to take the Niners easy. So there's my upset pick. We move on, Jacksonville and Chicago. Is this one of your picks, Tommy?
It is not, but I can't believe Jacksonville's not favored in this game. The Bears are terrible. So this is one of those ones where it almost scares me that that's the way the line is. I guess they have a lot. Brian Hoyer's been playing well, so I guess it kind of makes sense. So I would take Chicago if I was betting on the line, but I'm not betting. I'm not touching this one.
If there were wild card selections in this pool, the Jaguars would be one of them. So I think this is a week Jacksonville's going to win on the road. they have these games where out of nowhere they just pull them out of their hat in the fourth quarter. I like Jacksonville in this game. And also, as you're going to learn, this is one of these things where we don't really back any of this stuff up with facts.
No, you don't need to.
But you don't need to, because a lot of the times you listen to experts all week talk about why their offensive line isn't going to hold up and this and that, and then the exact opposite happens. So it's better to just bet on intuition.
Agreed.
Next game, the Rams coming off Jeff Fisher's fake punt call. Classic fake punt. Probably the 6th or 7th fake punt he's run in the last 2 or 3 years. Rams lose the game last week. Now they're on the road at Detroit. Tommy, is this one of your picks?
Nope.
It's not one of Tommy's picks. Man, a few words. It's not one of my picks either, but if I was picking a second wild card, I like the Rams to win this game because they shit the bed last week. The Lions pulled a game out of their ass last week, so the exact opposite should happen this week.
I like the way you pick because I do the same thing. If someone gets a lucky game one week, they've got to lose the next week, right?
Exactly. And if you saw the way the Lions won that game last week, a ridiculous series of events. The fact they pick up a fumble as it's falling out of bounds. They had no timeouts left. That was actually one of my picks last week, so I was real happy that happened. But it's not going to happen again. They're terrible.
Not that bad.
They're terrible. They're terrible. All right, next game, Tommy. Is Cleveland, Tennessee one of your picks?
Yes.
Here we go.
I have Tennessee as my survivor.
I think that's an awful pick.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Tennessee,
I don't think
Tennessee
Tennessee's
wins last week. They win last week. They get their lucky game last week. And a Cleveland-Tennessee game is a wash. I just can't go there.
Well,
I'm staying away from that game.
Cody Kessler's going to be a starting quarterback, and I don't know how long he's going to last.
I just can't believe Tennessee's favored at 6.5. At least the spread we're looking at right now, 6.5. That to me seems like way too big for a toss-up.
All they have to do is win the game. I think that's kind of my
man, a few words, Tommy.
Yeah,
All they have to do is win the game.
No, because here's what I'm saying. Like if I were to make the line, I would probably say around 3 points, and you give them about 3 for being home. So it's yeah. I mean, I have faith that they'll win the game.
Okay. All right. Tommy has faith that they'll win the game. We move on. Pittsburgh and Miami, Tommy.
That's one of mine as well. My road team for this week is going to be the Steelers. Taking the Steelers. I think Miami's awful. I think Ryan Tannehill needs to lose his job. I think that the Steelers are hot right now.
Besides,
I think Ben Roethlisberger.
You know who else is hot?
Who?
Tommy.
Who?
Tommy.
What?
His wife.
Whose wife?
Tannehill.
Oh, well, he's not.
That's the only thing that's hot about him right now.
Oh.
You're slow. It's cool.
Man. Well, yeah, okay. I appreciate the fact that you assume that the first thing I would think is, the guy's wife. Like, yeah.
That is the first thing that you normally think of.
Not inaccurate, but hey, I'm not in the. A lot of people do that because I do this right now. Go to Google, type in any famous athlete or whatever. I guarantee you, the first suggested thing is that guy's name and then wife or girlfriend.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
So
I'm not the only one.
Screw
you guys.
Or X.
Well, yeah. Right, but you know what I'm saying. Like that's the first thing. I don't know why, but I guess it's kind of, I don't know. All of us kind of curious. Like we all kind of think of ourselves like, oh man, if I was starting quarterback in the NFL, I would be with blah blah blah. It's like, wait, I wonder who Ryan.
Like Blake Bortles' girlfriend,
ex-girlfriend.
See, there we go. Let's get back to the picks.
Right. So I'm picking Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger is playing probably his best football he's ever played. Great wide receivers. Coach has been playing well. Obviously, Antonio
Brown is playing well. All right, dude, we get it, man. You sound like you're on SportsCenter right now. We get it.
All right, fine. Go.
Okay.
Wait, whatever.
Steelers with my suicide pick. I know people are talking about if they haven't used the Patriots yet, them as one. I also heard someone to ask me if they should pick the Cardinals as their suicide pick, and I just stared at them with a blank stare, and I'm wondering, are a lot of people considering picking the Cardinals this week as suicide? Because that just sounds fucking retarded to me.
Wait, I have a question, though. That's illegal.
What do you mean?
They're the Monday night game.
That in our pool it happens to be, but not in the greater sense of a suicide pool. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So we got that. Steelers are my suicide pick. Moving on, Cincinnati, New England.
Not one of my games. That game scares me. I wouldn't touch it.
The reason that I would stay away from this in a suicide pick, I think the Patriots probably pull it off, but the Bengals are a better team than they've shown this year, and they haven't had that game where they put it all together and showed up. And I think it's a little sketchy because you don't know. It's kind of like Russian roulette. You know, you don't know when that gun's going to go off, and you really don't want to be the person that kills yourself. You know.
Right, but the offensive line for the
Andy Dalton's called the Red Rifle.
That's true, but the offense. Oh, is that a?
I literally made that up on the spot. I made it up.
Right, good for you, man. Really proud of you. No, but the Bengals' offensive line has been terrible. So that's why they're losing all these games. So unless that gets fixed, we'll see.
Okay, I don't know why you have to come at me with reason, but
You're right. I'm sorry.
Okay. Moving on. So when neither of us are taking that pick, we say stay away from that. Even though Patriots probably win, and just stay away. You can come back another day. Stay away. Carolina, New Orleans. This game sketches me out as well. I would stay away from this.
Not touching it. If I was picking it though, I was really tempted to make this my underdog pick and have New Orleans go money line.
But see, this is why I don't think you want to take New Orleans in this game, is because Carolina's lost too many games in a row right now. Cam's going to be back, right? Probably, most likely. I would assume Cam's back.
They don't look right.
I know.
They look like.
I know, but they've lost like 3 games in a row. It's just it seems like the time where they get it all together and win a game. I'm not saying Carolina's legit this year. I don't like picking teams. I don't like picking against teams that have lost that many in a row. I feel like it's just like a ticking time bomb for when they're going to eke out a win.
Right, but it'd be one thing if they're if they were trending up and then they started losing a whole bunch of games, but they haven't shown anything yet this year. I mean,
I know. So I'm saying it's
gotten worse.
I'm just saying I would. All right. Fuck my
worse.
opinion. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I would just say stay away from this game.
Okay.
That's just my recommendation. If I was someone watching, I'd stay away. All right. Next we move on to Baltimore and the New York Giants. Tommy, thoughts? Do you have a selection here?
Not one of my games. I would take Baltimore though if I was picking.
I would stay away from this game too, but I like what you're saying about Baltimore. The reason why, as we mentioned, they just fired their offensive coordinator. I feel like when you get an interim head coach or you get a new offensive coordinator, you always get a little spark, regardless if it sticks or not. This would seem like that game. But on the other hand, Giants have taken a tumble the last couple of games. It seems like they're due for a win. And it always seems like Baltimore is competing to either lose or win in literally because they're the only options, obviously, in the last 30 seconds. So I don't like the game, Tommy.
Okay.
Philadelphia and Washington.
Not touching this one either, but if I was, I go Washington.
Yeah, I'm not touching it either. I like Philly because they're coming off a hard loss last week, but stay away. We're running down the stay away alley right now.
Right, I know, but I still need to see a little more from Carson Wentz.
All right, fair enough. All right, what about Kansas City and Oakland?
Yes, that's my user pick. Kansas City. I'm staying away from that game. Tommy's picking Kansas City with they're a bit of are they half a point
dog?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's a toss-up. To me, it's a toss-up. Oakland's played well. It's an interdivision game. I'm staying away from that. Dallas, Green Bay, not one of my picks, but if we're talking about wild cards, my third wild card selection, I'm going that deep in the pool, Tommy. I would pick Dallas over Green Bay. Upset special. Yep.
No. I think Green Bay wins by 2 touchdowns.
I'm just saying, Tommy. I like Dallas.
This is going to be a blowout. I almost did this as my survivor. This is going to be a blowout.
Right. Well, it's good to have disagreement between the two of us once in a while.
Yeah, it's good. It's healthy for whatever. But it will be a blowout. It will be 2 touchdowns. You can write that down. If I want to go to Vegas right now and bet on this. Actually.
I mean, you don't look that excited about it, but it's good that it's good for us to clash with some things. I really like Dallas in this game. Okay. Moving on to the next pick. We both have this pick. Atlanta at Seattle. Atlanta is my away pick. I'm a little cautious here because I've picked them 3 or 4 weeks in a row. They're one of the reasons why I'm on top of this pool right now. I've been riding Atlanta's coattails to victory. And I told you last week I'm going to hop off the bandwagon after they win last week at Denver. And I'm not listening to my own advice, and I'm going to ride them one more week. Reasoning, I don't think that Seattle has the offense to keep up with Atlanta. That's pretty much my only reason.
And who's the head coach in Atlanta?
There you go. That's the second reason. I'm blanking on his name. Not Gus Bradley. He's Jacksonville.
Dan Quinn.
I like that.
Old defensive coordinator.
He knows the Seahawks well, so that's another reason why I give Atlanta the advantage. So you're picking Atlanta as what pick?
My underdog.
Your underdog pick. Okay. So we both agree there. It could come back to bite us. I'm telling you, this is like when you're gambling, you're in Vegas, you're riding you're all hot, you should get off the table, you're on a heater.
No. You're on a heater. You can't leave the table when you're on a heater.
You can't leave the table when you're a heater. You should, and that's how I feel with Atlanta right now. Last pick, Tommy, Indianapolis and Houston. Is this one of your games?
It should have been. I'm so angry about this.
Just to educate our listeners, one of the rules of these pick'ems is if you're picking an underdog pick, they have to be at least 3.5 in this pool we're in. So Tommy wanted to pick Indianapolis, but right now, based on at least Bovada, they're only a 3-point dog. So Tommy he can't pick them, but he wants to pick Indianapolis. I like Indianapolis too in this game, but you can't pick them.
Unfortunately, you can't pick them, which I think is BS because half the books have them over 3 at 3.5, and half of them have them at 3. Fortunately, the one we're using has them at 3, which is, whatever. The rules are the rules, so I'm not going to.
All right, last pick. We both have to pick the Monday Night Football game. Cardinals at Jets. Jets at Cardinals.
That's too easy. I pick the Cardinals. I would love to go on Olympic.
I'm going Jets. I'm going Jets.
No way.
Cardinals have looked terrible. They barely beat the Niners with Blaine Gabbert. They've looked awful this season. Who knows how Carson Palmer is going to play coming off the concussion. I'm going Jets. For all the reasons they shouldn't win, they're going to win.
They're the best running back in the NFL.
Shut up, Tommy. Stats don't matter. We can talk about that all the time. Stats don't matter.
It's best running back in the NFL.
Catches, he runs. Jets. Okay. Last thing we do before we get out of here, every Thursday with our picks, we do our prop bets. We each come up with a prop bet for the other person. The other person gets to choose first, and then we review the week after. Last week, my prop bet was, would the Indians or the Browns score more between the Indians' full series against the Red Sox and the Browns against the Patriots last week? And the Indians came through. I think they beat them 17-13.
Yep. Go Tribe.
All right, prop bets for this week, Tommy.
Oh, you go first.
All right, my prop bet. Who gives up more sacks this week? The Colts, who have given up the most sacks in the NFL this season, or a combination of the Raiders and Titans, who have given up the least amount of sacks this season?
I think the Colts give up more sacks.
I like it, Tommy. I have to pick the other because you chose Colts. So I'm taking the Raiders and Titans give up combined more sacks than the Colts this week. Tommy, what's your prop bet for me?
My prop bet, I'm going to go back to Kaepernick. Who's going to have the better game? Is it going to be Kaepernick in his first start or Gabbert in his first start? Because Gabbert's first start was actually his best game, even though the stats are not that pretty. He was 22 of 35, 175 yards, a touchdown, and his QBR was 91.
I'm going with Kaepernick.
I'll go with the Gabbert.
All right, so those are our picks.
Telling you, they're sabotaging Kaepernick this weekend. I'm telling you.
All right, conspiracy theorist.
I don't trust Chip.
Conspiracy theorist.
Not give him a chance. I am.
All right, guys, we'll review our picks next week. We'll see how Tommy and I both did, and we'll see how the lead has fared with their picks. And I mean, hopefully we'll be back. We'll see how accurate we are. I figure we got to do at least above 70%, or probably we'll just get booted, right? Wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah. What's a good approval rating for a president or something?
I mean, for a president,
60, 70.
I would like to think we'd get above that.
Okay, so hopefully we're around there.
All right, guys, and remember, check out the Lead Sports. Sign up for their newsletter, the Daily Quickie, the latest in sports. I'm not going to make up a tagline like we did last time. We'll just keep it simple. And Tommy's a Chargers fan. Pity Tommy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Happy betting.